it's happening in New York, New Jersey, or Long Island, hear about it with Joe Piscopo. Mornings, 6 to 10 on AM 970. The Answer.
Jersey, Arthur Aidala here. Arthur was great. He was such a Arthur could be so. And I mean this in the most complimentary of ways. So Brooklyn. Sometimes that Brooklyn comes out. You were so respectful last night. Thank you for that. You saw it. You read the situation.
First of all, Joe, everybody was so happy to see you there, number one. And all the law enforcement people. And I walked in, I heard this morning, as I listen every morning, I heard Frank talking about Commissioner Kelly. And I got right off the elevator and saw Commissioner Kelly. This is 5 minutes after Frank Morano bumped me from my spot at 8:30 this morning to be on now, which I'm very happy to be on at any time. So I come out, I start giving him a hard time. I was like, Commish, I got to get bumped on the radio because of you. And he just laughs, and he knows my grandfather was the boxing judge, so he always fakes that he's going to throw me a punch. But I have to echo what Frank said about Ray Kelly. I mean, he's got to be in the top 10 most incredible human beings because he went two different routes, like the whole, Marines and law enforcement. And then, Joe, to have an LLM is like, that's one crazy level of education. It's basically a master's of laws. So after you do high school, after you do college, after you do law school, no, that's not enough. Let me get some more education. Make me even smarter. And then you go to an LLM program, and depending on how intense you do it, it can be 1 to 2 years. And then he goes to Boston or Cambridge, to Harvard, to the Kennedy Business School. I mean, as public administration. I mean, the guy is, and he's. And when you meet him, he is so down to earth.
Yes.
I mean, look, the viewers are going to hear him, or the listeners are going to hear
Commissioner Ray Kelly, we're talking about. Good thing he's not
in Arthur Aidala's time spot.
Yeah.
That's quite right.
Good thing he's not in shape. Oh my gosh, he owns it. He owns it.
I will tell you this, and I don't know if I'm speaking out of school, but on New Year's Eve, I don't remember what it was. It was maybe Bloomberg, 2 years before Bloomberg was about to leave. I made a comment. I spent New Year's Eve with Commissioner Kelly in Times Square, like as they're doing the countdown. I look at him, I go, unless we go to our respective significant others, we're going to wind up kissing in about 5 minutes when the ball drops. But I asked him and his wife about him running for mayor at the time.
Yeah.
And he was just about to turn 70. And what his wife said to me is, I've been waiting for this guy my whole life. And he basically said, well, we're going to enjoy our golden years together. She goes, he's turning 70. In my book, that's the beginning of the golden years. Nobody's running for mayor. Everyone's going to start enjoying life. And I think that's kind of the deal that they have. They've been married for a very long time. They have very successful children.
Greg's a great guy.
So that's why I don't think he's going for the FBI. He's going anywhere.
We were hoping.
I think he's just going to be Ray Kelly, which is a great thing to be.
But wouldn't it be great? And I want to get on to some legal questions, Arthur.
Do we have to?
Yeah,
there's
come
so
on,
much other good stuff.
And we'll talk to the commissioner, but maybe Donald Trump goes, let me just bring, Commissioner Kelly in for a year. For a year.
Donald Trump issue. I think at this point the commission is saying, hey, I've done more public service than
as he has.
40 people combined. So, and Joe, I was proud of you last night. You even though your enthusiasm for the way your partner walking around the room was evident, it was also very appropriate. The two of you could have been the royal couple that just had the baby yesterday. Cool. Congratulations to them. I hope they named their child Arthur, because apparently that's one of the top 5 names that's in the running.
Really?
But you looked very good. It was nice to see someone born within the same couple of decades as you were on your arm, as opposed to someone who was born like
you of all people, and I was lost, just going around shaking hands and very, very happy.
Well, all those military guys were so happy to meet you. Gosh. All the police.
A lot of those guys, by the way, it was the Federal Enforcement Homeland Security.
Yeah, Richard Kendall. He started that whole thing.
Right.
He's been friends with Governor Tom Ridge for a very long time.
Who looks great.
Yeah,
he came back. We took pictures. Yeah,
he got hit with a pretty bad heart attack.
But and he's doing great. God bless him.
He looked like he fit as a fiddle.
But a lot of the guys say, "Can we take pictures?" Joe, we take some pictures. So I said, "Absolutely." They were just in a firefight like last week. These guys, you forget what they go through.
Oh, absolutely.
Shot at. I mean, it's their lives on the line. So proud to be here.
And I'm not making light of this, but one of the biggest stories that popped up on my phone yesterday was a guy who was injured in battle. One of these bombs that went off that, it's like a fake bomb, not like an American bomb, one of these homemade bombs, and he lost his private parts. Wow. And yesterday was the first time I think they did a 14 or a 16-hour operation from a deceased man, and they put on his stuff to this individual. So God bless, the doctors. There were a lot of doctors there last night, by the way.
Is that
yeah.
right? Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
look, it's about a community supporting law enforcement. I mean, that's what that whole concept was last night. And again, Joe, you handled yourself very well.
Well,
I
but
do owe you an apology because there was a young woman there who wasn't sure who you were. Obviously, when you're walking around Carol Alt, you're somebody, right? I mean, the very least you are is your Carol Alt's significant other. So the young woman goes, "Who's that?" I go, "That's Joe Piscopo." I go, "He used to be somebody." She goes, "Really?" I go, "Yeah." I go, "You ever hear of President Ronald Reagan?" She goes, "Yeah." I go, "When Ronald Reagan was president, Joe Piscopo was it's a household
And then
name."
she looked at her and said, "And who are you?"
I just said,
"Why aren't you on Fox anymore?"
I said,
That's what they said.
I said, I just keep my shoes clean. Speaking of Fox, though,
Roger
Carol
Ailes
Alt-
went, you went. What
Hey,
happened? Give us the inside line. What happened?
Speaking of that, about 100 people. You can say the same thing with Carol Alt.
Yeah.
Because Carol had her own show on Fox. And I will tell you, she was very well received there by those off camera. She was known as being a very nice woman.
But for you to walk in, right, and we just kind of bumped into each other, Carol Alt and I, and it was just like, I got to leave early, and I'm not good at leaving early. I would stay there. I'd still be there, as a matter of fact, because I don't want to not shake hands. I don't want to not take a picture.
You're a mensch.
Come on, come sit with us, Joe. And they don't realize we got to get up 3, 4 in the morning. Carol goes, "Joe, I got to leave early." Boom, we're together. As soon as we hook up,
there were rumors. I mean, about you and her leaving together at the same time.
Oh my gosh!
People were
Turn
wondering
around, Look at this. I can't believe.
Not Crowley, is it? Carol Alt is here! Wow! Wow! This was not planned. This was definitely not planned. You did threaten us last night, saying I might show up, and here she is. This is amazing. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is Arthur Aidala taking over the Joe Piscopo show because he is now risen to his feet. He shed his earphones to give Carol an appropriate kiss on the cheek.
I cannot believe you came in.
Well, I guess it's the end of my segment, folks.
I get up at 6 o'clock in the morning because I have 2 little rescue kitties and they wake me up.
You
so
are
I'm
so
here.
good, girl. It was last night. It was late last night. We got
It
out.
wasn't that late. Come on,
All right,
Joe.
all right. I
You
know.
got me home by 8.
But what did you tell me though?
Like,
when
it
you
was like an old fogey day.
back
you
in
got me
but
home at 8.
back in the day, you never hung out late. You said it.
No, I never did. I always had to be up early.
Yeah.
You know,
That's why she
movies,
looks
they
the way
start
she
you
does
at 4
today.
Yeah,
o'clock.
that's true,
No,
Arthur. That's
I would
true.
look better if I didn't have to get up at 4 a.m., believe me.
Carol,
Work till 11 at night, Hey, but the girls
Frank
got to
Morano,
make a
would you
living.
like your seat back? Or, okay.
And Al Gattulo, Frankie
Hey, Al.
Morano, our guys. Carol, I have to thank you. We've been joking about it all morning.
I know. I heard. You know what happened?
Uh-oh.
I was. We talked last night about subways and taxis and
Did we?
Junos and
Did we?
whatnot. Do you remember?
I kept staring at you, and the light would turn green. She'd go like this. Arthur.
I'm like, oh,
I'd
you have
look
to go.
gaga, looking at Carol. She goes, "The light's green, Joe." We go,
Well, we did. We talked about it, and you
Yeah,
said, "Oh, you have
yeah.
to teach me the subway." And I said, "I love the subway because it gets you where you have to go really fast." I'm a New Yorker.
Yeah.
What the heck?
Problem is
I throw a-
he'll never go on the subway.
Well,
Germaphobe.
listen.
I
That's
don't care. I throw a hat and glasses, and they still say, "We know who you are under there." I'm like, "Oh my god." Anyway, but people are always really, really nice. Anyway, this morning I got this Juno, and I thought I'm driving in this car, and he's going like put 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 put. I go, oh my god, I should have just gotten on the subway. It would have been just so much faster. So I jumped out 2 blocks over. And I walked the rest of the way because there's so much traffic down here. And I was walking by outside, and a blonde woman said, "Carol Alt?" And I looked up at her, and she said, "Are you doing the Joe Piscopo show?"
Are you?
And I said,
It's the one who just left.
I said,
The French people who were
right?
just here. Yeah, it's the French people who
That's
just
just-
left.
I said, yes. She goes, "No, you don't know me," because I said hello. She goes, "No, you don't know me." She goes, but she looked familiar. She goes, "Are you doing the Joe Piscopo show?" I said, yeah. She said, "It's in here." And because I was looking for the address of 111, and it's kind of off to the side. And I thought, oh my gosh. She goes, "They've been talking about you."
I opened the show. I didn't want to do that, but you saved me. And Arthur knows. We're like life and Al. These guys are family. So when I'm at those events, I'm the worst. I am just. I can't. I stay. Like I said to Arthur just now. I'd still be there. You and we just bumped into each other, and you said to me, "I got 2 flat, not 1 flat tire. Listen, Arthur, listen, to this. 2 flat tires. Yet you still came to show support for the federal law enforcement."
I did. My father was a civil servant, and I grew up. He was a policeman. He was a military policeman as well, and then he became a fireman.
Wow.
So he was a career fireman.
Yeah, you know he was from in the Bronx,
in the South Bronx.
and you were brought up in New York, New York.
Yes, I was born in College Point, Flushing, Queens.
That's why she's so cool.
Yeah,
In other
that's
words,
it, man.
And when I hang out with people
she's
like
not
him,
like
I
from
start talking in a
Wisconsin.
New York
There
accent.
you go, because we're
Arthur,
real, Carol.
Arthur,
we're real.
are you defending somebody who whacked somebody? Can you stay for a little bit?
Yeah, I can stay. I can say whatever you want. Are you kidding me? I can still stay the whole day. Let's bring Commissioner Kelly in at 8:30, and I'll order up some sambuca.
Well, you also have a chef coming on. She told me.
Oh,
Downstairs.
David Burke. You're gonna love. You're gonna love David Burke.
You know, I eat raw food, so it's kind of like I don't know any of these chefs.
You're like Miss Helt. You're gonna love this. Carol Alt, the legend, with us, and Arthur Aidala, the legend, with us as well. We're gonna take a break, and then the madness will ensue. You don't want to go away, okay? Carol, you can stay a little bit.
Yeah.
I'm not leaving, Joe. I mean, you guys are going to have to pull me out of here.
You're the chaperone. You understand that? You're the chaperone now.
First of all, Carol, I'm the lawyer, and we haven't discussed one legal topic whatsoever.
Frankie, why bother? Frankie Five Boroughs is here. Albert is here. David Burke coming up live, and Commissioner Ray Kelly as well. It's Piscopo in the morning, live from New York, New York. Carol Alt graces us with her magnificent presence. Right. She is some kind of wonderful. Joe Piscopo on the radio. Good morning. Good morning. Happy Tuesday. We're streaming live on Facebook and on YouTube and AM970theanswer.com. It's 8:06. It's great to have you here. We didn't know what was going to happen, so it's a long story. So stay with me just for a second, and then we're going to open it up to the craziness. Then David Burke's going to come in, and we have Commissioner Ray Kelly with us. We have a great show that Frankie Five Boroughs put together for you. Very proud to have on the radio. So last night we went to this great, spectacular event celebrating federal law enforcement officers, Federal Enforcement Homeland Security Foundation, and it was just with former Governor Tom Ridge, and he was the first Homeland Security Secretary. Just a great event. I was a bit lost. I talked about this earlier, so forgive me. And people have pictures, and I'm by myself as always. And then I saw Carol Alt there, the legendary actress, model, Carol. I said, Carol, hi. She goes, Joe. She goes, oh, I got 2 flat tires. She told me the whole story. And we went, I said, Carol, please stay close. She goes, Joe, I have to get out of here early. I said, oh my gosh, you're a blessing. You're an angel. We ended up working. And Arthur Aidala is here as well. Arthur walks in and he sees us together, of course, and he is like
I made
a school.
the sign of the cross.
I
made the sign of the cross. I was like, thank you, God. Finally, Joe is with someone with quality, class, dignity, intelligence. Finally, man.
This is what was going through his mind. He's kidding.
What does that say about your ex-wives, Joe?
No, please,
Come on,
please,
be
please.
nice.
I know.
Be
Oh,
nice.
exactly.
I've never
Thank
met
you.
it either, by the way. I've only
Thank
heard
you.
stories.
All right.
First of all, Carol Alt, thank you for walking me through that. I had the best time with you. We were on the same wavelength. We support law enforcement. Then Ray Kelly was there, who's coming on the show in a little bit.
Yeah, but I can't believe I beat him here.
Yeah.
He was saying, oh, I have to get up so early to do Joe's show, and I'm here before he is. I'm like, seriously? And I wasn't even slated to be here. I just came because we joked about it last night.
And I say to my guys, to Frankie and Al, to Arthur, the boys, the knuckleheads, I go, Carol was leaving, and I go, I have my car out front. How about that? I had the Guido mobile out front.
Would you have the caddy?
Of course, I'll tell you.
Beautiful.
Guess what color it is, Arthur?
Black.
Wow, what do you think?
Yeah, my man.
I fretted a little bit about getting into a car from New Jersey, though. Jersey drivers.
It was like you were crazy.
I'm like, it's a green light. You can go.
Well, he was a little distracted. I am his attorney, so I'm representing him. Me and Anthony Pope
Well,
we
but he
share the
said
duty.
he has his car. I thought he meant with a driver. I didn't realize he was driving.
He's a man of the people, Kyle. He's a man
We
of
were
the people.
chatting about a variety of things.
My flat tires.
And I just happened to have the foot on the brake at a red light, and I just happened to be chatting, and Carl's going, Joe, the light's green. What?
What?
Your response was, I know.
I know. Yes. No, it wasn't.
Not that I minded sitting there chatting. It's just that everybody else was beeping at us.
It was great. Hey, Carol, thanks for being there. How did you end up there last night? I know you do a lot of charity work.
I do. Thank you. Yes, I work with shelterchic.org, and it's an animal charity that saves older animals.
Yes.
Animals that give 13 years of service to a family, and then they're dumped out because they're older, they're moving, they don't want an animal anymore, whatever it is.
Yeah, wow.
And we go into basically death row, and we save these scared little creatures who were with a family and who are now in a cage. And the girl I work with she just ripped my heart out one day, and I said, I'm going to help raise money for you. So last year on May 10th at Tao Downtown, we had an event, which we're going to have again this year, May 10th at Tao Downtown. And Bill McCuddy offered the sweetness that he is, offered to be a live auctioneer for us.
Yeah, he's good at that. Yeah,
we raised the most money. I mean,
Really?
we raised $46,000. You know, we're really a small
you
charity.
can save a lot of dogs and cats.
Dogs
for
and cats, you know, because
$46,000.
everybody else, all the other charities, they fight over the puppies and the kittens. It's the older animals,
Yeah, good for you.
And the great thing about older animals, you don't have to train them.
yeah.
They're socialized. They already know. And if you're somebody who's not sure you want an animal, they're already older. It's not like they're going to last 20 years. They may last 5 or 7.
yeah.
You know, I've placed one with my mother, my neighbors, everybody. I've got 2 that just every time I look at them, they just cheer my day up. Who
What
were
type of
very upset
animals?
I left this morning.
What type of animals do you have?
I have 2 black cats. And I love black cats, and they're the hardest to place. But you know, at Shelter Chic, we don't discriminate, and I place them everywhere. Anyway, so Bill McCuddy did my live auction last night.
He ran that pretty good. You know Bill from Fox. So
Yeah, of course. I chatted with him last night.
Yeah,
He's a good man.
and he looks great. He did a great job with us, and he dragged us over. Frank, he drags Carol and I over and did the interview real quick.
Right.
Put us in front of the step and repeat. You know,
But he told me he was going to do that. He said, please, can you make it by 6:30, between 6:30 and 7:30?
That's
And I'm
nice.
on Long
That's
Island
nice.
with 2 flats.
Yeah.
It was
So
like-
what happened? I mean, you're Carol Alt, but you were so grounded. You got a car by yourself. You didn't get asked for a car, so you were driving an upscale car.
Right, I was driving a Mercedes. Hello. With those stupid low-profile tires.
Yes.
That's the
I don't know.
That's it.
That was it. And what happened was I ended up with a flat, but it didn't tell me because my friend who owned the car had rotated the tires. And you're not supposed to rotate the tires on a Mercedes. If they get bald anywhere, you're supposed to replace them. But he rotated them, so it wasn't telling me what was happening. All of a sudden, I have this flat. So this really, really nice guy stops and, he changes.
What a surprise!
What a shock. Really nice
Go
guy.
figure.
He's
Can I
missing a
change?
leg and an arm, but he helped me change the tire.
Well, I tipped him nice. He was a very nice guy. And
The stranger came up to you like that, like
yeah,
what a
hey,
surprise.
I see
Some
you
strangers
have a
lined
flat.
up.
Listen, New Yorkers are the best,
Yeah, well.
okay? So I then called Raleigh Mercedes, and I said, help. They said, come over right away. And I had to cancel my whole day, which was why I borrowed the car in the first place. I had to cancel everything except my lunch with my mom and my sister, which I got to do. And then I went to Mercedes, and they're like, well, you've got 2 flats.
Oh, my
the other one
Lord.
just hadn't really
Yeah.
started flattening out yet, but it had bubbles and holes. And then I'm like, what the heck? And then he says to me, you've got 4 bald tires. And I called my friend who was in Italy. I'm like, what the heck? You got 4 bald tires on a gorgeous Mercedes. That's like sacrilege.
And you were on your way to the event?
I had to run to Long Island during the day, which
Oh,
I
look
had
at
I
you.
had told Bill.
Look at you.
I said I have an appointment
Yeah,
on
yeah.
Long Island,
Yeah.
and I was having lunch with my mom and my sister. My mom is 85, still works at the library
bless.
in East Williston. Like
God
she's
bless.
just an amazing. Like I
Yeah.
aspire to be like my mother.
Yeah.
Too bad she's not listening to this. She always hears me talk about my father, but she's really an amazing woman. And I had lunch with her and my sister, and then I came back in. But this thing threw my whole day off because it was 3 hours to change all these tires.
She was so cute because I go. I don't know. You know me. I'm a lost soul. And Joe, come here. I'm doing whatever they want. And she goes, I got 2 flat tires. I said, wait a minute. You said, will you come on the radio and please tell us about
He's
this?
like, you had 2 flat tires and you made it. I was like, but I was with, I was calling Bill all day long. Like, okay, this is my progress. This is where I am because I had promised to be there. And when I make a promise, it's a promise.
Yeah, but you were great. Because a lot of the guys and gals wanted to take pictures, and then they would say, Joe, oh, Carol Ald, and vice versa. And say, Carol, is that Piscopo? And we took pictures. Thank you for that. And then,
well, it's so much nicer to work the
Yeah,
room
yeah.
with somebody like
Yeah,
Joe
but Arthur-
because
I
you're
was the photographer, by the way, Frank.
No,
There's this one guy. He's like, "Can I take a picture of you guys?" And he's gonna just take a picture of Joe and Carol, but he's dying to be in the picture.
I'm like, why aren't
But
you in the picture?
Carol was nice. She goes, "Why don't you come in the?" I was like, "Give me the camera."
What
There's
did you
nothing.
s-
And I'm turning
Sometimes-
on the flash. I'm like doing all.
What
kinds
did
of
you
angles.
sometimes people don't want to be in the picture, so you never really know.
Carol?
You know?
I
what
think
did
that guy
what did
wanted
you
to be in
say?
the picture with
What
you.
did you say about me when you walked in here this morning before Carol came in there about how I was navigating?
I said, well, first of all, I said, when you're with a woman like Carol who's so poised and knows, I said, she'll make you president of the United States.
You
because
don't know what
she-
I'm like at home.
Well, listen, I think
Listen, I
you could say
can't
that
believe-
about a lot of individuals.
I just can't believe I walked in here and all you guys are in suits. I was like, it's
Well.
radio.
Look, we're on Facebook Live.
I
or
didn't
something
know
over
this.
here,
I thought
or
I can
one
get
of these
away
things.
with like my little, workout
You can.
outfit.
You
That's
can.
why Al dressed down today.
You
So
can.
you feel more comfortable.
Al didn't put on his tie.
I didn't even put makeup on. It was
Yeah,
like,
well,
oh, it's
that
radio.
doesn't seem to be a problem.
Carol,
Can I
all
ask a brief cat question
yeah.
before
A
we
ca-
go?
a cat
I now live
oh,
with 3
oh,
cats.
go ahead. Yes, yes.
So
We-
my girlfriend's cat is over grooming, and
Okay.
so
I mean, really?
Well, she
At
is.
8:15, this is the question that you
because
asked
no one
Carol.
else has given me a satisfactory answer.
Okay.
So she takes her to the
making
vet.
sure.
So now her
See the
whole
opposite
the black cat, black cat. So
Change her diet.
Her belly is bald now.
Well, change her diet because whatever she's eating is coming out her skin and annoying her skin.
Well, so the vet said she's nervous, prescribes her Xanax. So my girlfriend gives the cat Xanax, and she starts walking around like she's drunk. And so she says, "I'm not giving this
No,
cat
no.
Xanax anymore."
There's this stuff
but,
from-
But the problem is she lives with 2 other cats. So she got a special food for her, but the other cats, including one who's diabetic, are eating the special food.
You're
So
listening to a special edition
Carol,
of Morano in the morning.
the advice is this: move out. Just move out. I think the advice
Carol
is
is
I'd like to
Listen,
move the cats out.
Just so you know, Udo from Udo's Choice makes a cat supplement. It's greens that you can mix into the cat food, and it'll help her because she's like obviously reacting to something in her food because it's always food. Everything, even cancer, everything comes back down
Wow.
to your food.
Wow.
You got to eat raw.
Udo's.
Have the cat
You know what?
eat raw.
My cats eat raw.
Do they?
So, hey, Carol,
I've got like these, 2 little stupid rescues that like they are so pampered. They are so pampered. They
And
have their
they
little
eat raw
pizzas. They
food.
sleep in little fur pizzas. I mean, they're
but how
like,
do you? What is raw food? And this is why you keep yourself so young. I mean, and from eating all this food, not. We talked about
Well, I
this.
gave you guys all a taste of my raw Rev Glow
Actually,
bar.
Joe-
That was phenomenal.
Wasn't it good? You
Yeah.
didn't get a taste.
No,
I'm
that's
sorry,
okay.
Joe, I'll send you
But
one
raw,
over.
raw, I always think raw. I think of carrots. I think of carrots.
That's the first thing. Everybody always asks me, like, do you eat carrots? I'm like, I eat ice cream. I eat cake.
You do?
I eat it for dinner. There's a company called Rawsome Treats. Rawsome Treats here in the city, and
Yeah,
they just opened
yeah,
up a store.
yeah.
They make a raw tiramisu. They make a
Well,
raw French torte with fruit on it. This girl is so awesome. I eat the tiramisu for lunch.
Wow.
Because it's as nutritious. All the stuff that's in it is more nutritious than, sorry, no offense to David coming in, but
David, we got
Wait,
pretzels
Can you
of
hold
it.
up
Is it
that
pretzels?
dang pretzel? It's like the biggest pretzel I've ever seen.
Carol,
And
all
it's got
yeah,
Parmesan.
the
Parmesan
Parmesan cheese on it.
cheese.
You see it. We're on YouTube. We're on Facebook. You can check us out. Go to am970theanswer.com. 5 Boroughs is here. Albert is here. The great Arthur Aidala is here. We're going to clear. If you guys can hang, we'd love for you to hang. You're always so welcome here. Arthur, you as well. I know you're on your way to federal court every day. You and Anthony, you're in the federal court. Hang out. And David Burke is coming in. But we want to leave way for Commissioner Ray Kelly, the legend Ray Kelly, who Carol and I and Arthur were with last night. Live from New York on AM 970 The Answer, streaming live on YouTube and on Facebook. AM970theanswer.com. It has been, Carol Alt, an honor and a privilege to have you here. I tell you, magnificently beautiful is one thing, but being the great gal, grounded gal that you are.
It was worth getting up early, Joe. I had a great time here with all
Carol
you guys.
Alt,
Thank
you
you
are
so much for
just
your
spectacular.
welcome.
You're welcome anytime. Look,
Thank you.
and just off mic, we were talking about so many things. We want to bring you back to talk about it if we can.
Absolutely.
And if I'm lost,
I hear Frank has my number.
Frankie 5 Boroughs. That was smooth.
I
That
will
was
only
smooth.
use it for cat questions. I promise.
And,
you
and
have
if
any
I'm,
cat
if I'm,
questions,
and
like
Carol, if I'm meandering aimlessly at an event, may I have your permission to call you?
You have my permission to check in. Yes.
You were laser focused last night, and thank you. An honor to be with you. Thank you so
you.
much,
It was
Arthur. And I
enjoyable.
love you, Arthur. I know.
Two things. Number one,
Uh-oh.
I'm not going far because you got this chef coming in with all this
Hang,
food. So
man.
I may
You
not
can
be on the
hang
air,
with
but
us.
I'm
You can hang
kidding.
with us.
Number two, a quick shout out to Kenny, who's part of the L&B Spumoni Gardens.
Kenny.
family. He actually makes the Spumoni.
Thank
from
you,
L&B
Mr.
Spumoni Gardens.
Acovano.
And he's a big fan, and he said he loved the show. He said the chemistry amongst all of you
Ah.
today, especially Al Gattulo. It was off the chart. And Al didn't explode today, Carol. That's the comic effect.
No, he
yeah.
did before the show.
Before the show, he exploded? All right, but once Carol arrived.
Arthur,
I yelled
love,
at Frank before the show.
love to your
Oh,
family. Arthur, appreciate it, guys.
Joe, we were talking about some machine you were working on this morning. What machine?
Cybex. It was Cybex machine, right, Carol? The Cybex machines in the gym.
I don't know this Ibex machine, but I have a machine that takes the place of 5 gym machines.
Wait a minute. Listen.
What's his name?
It's 3.
Smack him. Back of your hand.
He's
Back
too
of your
far
hand.
away. My arms aren't long enough.
Sorry, scusa.
No, it's a new product that I just found. It's called Core 46, and it does the same thing as 5 machines, 3 minutes, 4 minutes, 3
Rubber
times a
band
week.
based by chance?
Sorry?
Rubber band based?
No, well, it's got a spring inside,
Yeah.
so you can pull, you can bend,
Yeah.
you can lift, so you get your arms. Like I have arms of steel. I never had arms before. I was always like, I lost the Cosmo cover because they said your arms are too skinny.
No, for real?
For real.
Frank, is that ever
I have the
you lost the
Polaroid of
Cosmo
it.
cover?
I have the
because you're
Polaroid
So
of
what,
it.
what
I
did you
did. I
say?
misplaced it.
What did you say? You just went like that? Okay, fine, and you let it go. See, you could have called Arthur. You could have sued them. Nowadays, you
Right nowadays, no,
Yeah,
it's just
it's
too much
armed
of that. It is
discrimination.
what it
Armed
is, right?
discrimination.
Well, not anymore. Last night we took a photo together, and I'm like, geez, my arms look really kind of big. You know, because they're like muscular now. No
Joe was on the
underarm
cover
flab with
of-
the Core 46.
of
I gotta
Muscle
tell you.
and Fitness.
Yeah, back in the day, but I'm trying
Oh,
to stay.
I gotta send you one of these.
Oh, you
I'm
know what?
actually auctioning one off at our Shelter Chic May 10th.
Give us a.
event
Yo,
at
are we
Tao.
going on May 10th? Are we going to go to the show? I mean, show our
If we-
support.
if-
Maybe you can
if
sing
Miss
a couple
Salt,
of
if
tunes.
Miss Salt sees fit to invite us, Arthur, you don't want. I don't want to
It's
be
a
obnoxious
charity
here. I don't want
event.
to.
I think I mean, right? Isn't it?
Hey, give it,
aren't we supposed to be
Carol.
there
Give us
to-
the plug for your event that's happening May 10th. Where is
Oh,
it?
yeah, great. Thanks. It's shelterchic.org, and it's at Tao on May 10th in the evening,
Wow.
and we save older animals. You know, everybody else fights for the
Can you
puppies and
save
the
older
kittens.
people like me? Can
You know,
do
that's
us-
why I save older animals, because like I think I kind of feel for them. You know, it's kind of like, you
I think
hate
it's
to
great.
get old and get tossed to the side, and
It's great.
so that's where I got my kitties from. So-
Well,
and they're the loves of my life.
Next
Next to you, Joe.
Yeah.
You know.
Oh, ding, ding, ding.
Anywhere you're going to be, we're going to be. If you need any help in that regard,
that's
please let us
awesome.
know.
Thank you.
And come back again. And Arthur, you can hang. And listen, David Burke is going to join us live. You don't want to miss this spectacular.
I got to escape because, I eat raw food, and
no,
he's
look
bringing
at
in
this,
all
look at
this
this.
great cooked
He's
stuff.
got the pretzel,
It's so
Parmesan
tempting.
pretzel. David Burke live in the studio. He is from Iron Chef America and an all-around great guy. Also, Assemblyman Robert Auth is going to be here. We're going to be talking about the proposed tax increases in the great state of New Jersey. Say it ain't so. Jersey Joe on the radio. Carol Auth, thank you very much. We love you. Arthur, stick around. Frankie is here. Al is here. Debbie is here. Coming right back at you. Don't you go away.
Live from the smartwaytobuy.com studios.
Radio Piscopo, live from the greatest city in the world, right in downtown New York, New York. I'm a block away from the Freedom Tower next to the Trinity Church. What a morning this morning. Thanks so much for joining us. Thanks for watching on AM970theanswer.com.
Take a breath now?
We are doing right.
God,
we are going. We are
since
going.
6:30 this morning. It's been just.
I know. It's been fun though. I love it, and that's the way. Like I said, this ain't your parents' radio show, baby. We are here. We are ready, locked and loaded. I want to go to Frankie Five Boroughs with Arthur Aidala still in the studio. Arthur,
But my favorite part of the show, honestly, Joe.
I'm glad I asked.
Here we go.
My favorite part had to be
The cat
Frank's cat questions. We have this beautiful woman in the studio. Joe and Arthur are gushing over this woman, asking
What?
questions,
What gushing?
pertinent questions. That, I have this animal thing that I'm doing, this whatever. And this one turns around. I have a cat. Can I ask a cat
It was
question?
so cute.
Okay,
It
can
was
I ask
cute.
two? Can I ask
I
four?
normally would never
Follow
interrupt.
her down the
you.
You know what's
elevator.
gonna happen? She's gonna end up with Morano. You know?
No.
And then he shows her, "Is this your number?" And the look on her face is like,
But
"Man,
you know
did
what?
get
You know
my
what I was
number?"
thinking of when he starts asking the questions? They're very, very famous, and it was on national television. So years ago we could talk about it
Right.
when Johnny Carson is interviewing Raquel Welch. She's got the cat on her lap.
No,
Right.
don't.
All
Your
right,
mother's
all right.
listening,
All
Arthur.
right, it was late night TV.
Your mother's listening.
You remember the line?
Did he go there? Did he go
You
there?
remember the line?
All right. We're
not gonna mention
It,
We'll
it actually never happened. That's one of those things that everyone thinks they've seen and everyone thinks they know, and it actually never happened.
It never happened?
And there's so many different versions of that story. One's with Zsa Zsa Gabor, one's with Eva Gabor, one's with Raquel Welch, one's with Sophia Loren. It has never happened.
Yeah. Really?
Johnny talked about it for 30 years because people asked him about it for 30 years. Zsa Zsa Gabor's talked about it. Raquel Welch talked about it. It is one of those things that it's like all the stockbrokers that jumped out of the window during the Great Depression.
Me doing steroids?
Never happened. Right? No, exactly.
I'm just saying.
Exactly.
I'm just
This is
saying.
the kind of insane stuff he knows. Morano knows.
I know,
Who
I
else
know,
would know that
everything,
it never
everything.
happened? God bless you, Frank.
Hey, Frankie Five Boroughs, tell us about, and Arthur, you could jump in too, because this is a big day election-wise in the state of New York.
Yeah, so there's 11 special elections today. So if you're in Manhattan, if you're in the Bronx, if you're in
out
Long
and
Island,
vote.
go out and vote because turnout's going to be anemic. But The only election that really has statewide implications is this state Senate election that's taking place in Westchester today, because this is the last vestige of Republicanism in New York State. This is the last thing they control. Right now, there's 63 members of the state Senate. There are 2 vacancies, okay? Right now, there's 31 Republicans and 30 Democrats. Now, one of those elections today is in the Bronx. The Democrats definitely going to win that. And the other election is in Westchester. This is a very competitive election. Millions of dollars have poured into this election that probably 15,000 people are going to vote in. Because if the Democrat wins, then they will control the state Senate and have a numerical majority. If the Republicans win, they'll have a numerical majority. So the Republican candidate is Julie Killian, former deputy mayor of Rye. The Democratic candidate is Shelley Mayer. She's a state assemblywoman there now. This was George Latimer's seat. He became elected to the Westchester County Executive.
Off the top of his head.
But it is very interesting. Now, there is a chance that the Republicans could still maintain control of the state Senate because there's one Democrat, Simcha Felder from Brooklyn, that caucuses with the Republicans, even though he's a Democrat. But do we really want control of the state to be decided by Simcha Felder, a Democrat who's going to be put under enormous pressure from not only his Democratic colleagues but the governor to go back with his Democratic brethren? Also, some of the things that Simcha Felder has been pushing aren't necessarily in the interests of the whole state. So,
but there's no, if I may, Frankie, you know best. Simca's up. He's up for.
Yes.
He's up now. There's no way he loses. I mean, am I right?
Well, we'll see. He's going to have a Democratic primary because a lot of Democrats don't like the fact that he's caucusing with the Republicans.
Yeah, because he makes common sense. Yeah.
But if he goes back to where the Democrats are between now and June, I wouldn't be surprised if the Republicans try to run somebody against him. But this is a very tough district for anyone that's not named Simcha Felder to win.
I bet you $1 there are not even 15,000 people.
No, I'm not going to take that.
It's probably like it'll be, and that's what's sad, Joe. All kidding aside, if you look at even who elected Mayor de Blasio, it was less than 25% of eligible voters, and that's eligible voters. I'm sorry, registered voters. There are so many people who are not registered to vote, and there are places all over the world, Joe, where people die for their right to vote. We just take it for granted. And that's why when people start complaining about the politicians, whomever they are, before I engage them, I say, do you vote? And if they say, no, I don't vote, I go, don't talk to me. I don't want to hear it.
Yeah, you're right. You
want to sit on your hands?
When are you running for office?
Joe, you got to be out of your mind right now to run for office. Everyone's under investigation. Cuomo's chief of staff is going to prison. De Blasio dodged a bullet by a razor skin margin. Every day, you guys in the morning are covering about some politician who's under indictment, who just resigned. Pam Harrison, his friend Michael Grimm went to jail. He's coming back. He's running. I mean, it's treacherous.
We talked about this at length.
It's treacherous
privately, and when I was thinking about running, it's just
people tough. I'm gonna, with all humility, people who love me, like Avi, meaning Professor Dershowitz, and Geraldo, they're like, all right, if that's where your heart is, if that's where your passion is, of course we're going to support you.
Otherwise,
but as guys who love you, figure out how to be involved civically without putting your neck really out.
Your mother did a good job raising you. Daddy too.
Back
at you. Arthur Aidala, the great Arthur Aidala,
what
right
a morning.
There. 9:51. Yeah, well, ain't over yet. You know, radio. You always go wait.
You guys are done work. I'm just beginning. Like I got to go ramp up, go into the office. Like, all right, everyone, let's go write a brief. Let's file a motion.
You have a jury to sing to. What are you gonna do there? Jacques Cousteau, Doudou, Pipi, Caca. Pepe Le Pew, Les Sautons, Les Sessantin, Le Tonton et Joe Piscopo, Arthur Aidala, Frankie Morando, Big Al Gutulo, Grumpy Al. It is nice.
In French.
Hey, that's a very nice one.
All right.
Maybe tomorrow we'll do the national anthem where I could sing it. I always thought the old man Arthur should do the national anthem. Swing it, baby.
He never did the national anthem.
Never. God bless America. He knew because he knew. He knew. Arthur, an honor and a privilege.
2 hours of my life I'll never get back, but I'll never forget either.
Thank you, man.
Thank you, Carol Alt.
Yeah, really, Carol Alt, thank you, and God bless you, Carol. Great stuff, and thank you, Commissioner Kelly. Frankie Five Boroughs, thanks for bringing the best to the airwaves. Although I'll take credit for Miss Alt today, if I may. For you. Arthur, thanks for being a good wingman. You were brilliant. I love you, Al. Love you, Debbie. Thanks, guys. Piscopo in the morning. Make it a great day because you deserve it.
Everybody knows this guy. Now, everybody knows he can do a radio show. Joe Piscopo. Mornings, 6 to 10 on AM 970. The Answer.